and welcome to Imperfectly Well on Cosmic TV. For those of you who are new here, Cosmic Television is a spiritual and metaphysical Netflix. You're going to find other shows like this. You're going to find films from conscious filmmakers and other courses on www.cosmictelevision.com. You can also check us out on the App Store. So I definitely encourage you to jump in, learn more about Cosmic TV. My name is Laura Mazzotta. I am an Akashic therapist and Reiki Master, and it's absolutely my mission to assist passionate women with ditching their guilt, ditching their doubt, ditching their indecision, and stepping into full thriving, both personally and professionally. For any of you who are watching on Emerge Healing and Wellness, jump over to Cosmic TV because I will not be able to see your comments live. And today we're going to be doing a spiritual business building workshop, or a business building workshop really for anybody who is in the coaching, healing, or entrepreneurial profession, including therapists, especially if you're a spiritual therapist. I'm here to support you and assist you with whatever is coming forward for you. So I have been an entrepreneur for over 20 years now, and I'm also a real estate investor, and I am happy to answer any questions that come forward for you that you've brought with you to be able to build your business to the point where not only are you expanding in your income and in your client base and what you're offering, but you are expanding in your personal life. You're expanding in your relationships, in your health, and you're thriving. That's really what makes us gets us to the highest level of success. The first thing that I would encourage you to do is to really define what success looks like to you, feels like to you, means to you. Because we get that handed to us by so many people in the society of what it means to be successful and what it looks like to be successful. And we really need to define that for ourselves. So I really empower and encourage you to define what success means to you specifically. And you can drop that in the comments if you desire. My definitions of success are entirely freedom and intimacy. So for me, when I have those full on, I'm good. I'm golden. And everything else just kind of flows because I'm celebrating how successful I am. And we all know with the law of attraction that what we focus on expands. So let me know if you're here. Say hello. Let me know what kind of business you run. Let me know what questions you have that are coming forward around your business, or areas that you might be struggling that you feel are really frustrating you, or you're feeling stuck in a plateau, or like you'd like to move beyond. So that's one area. Or you can also share with me, what are your desires? When we tap into desire, that's when we're going to expand even further in our business development, because we're not focusing on areas where we're falling short. We're focusing on areas that we desire to go. And the energy of desire is a higher frequency of that, of struggle, of that, of lack. And so we want to be able to call in what it is we are wanting to achieve, and not just from our ego, because we can definitely set goals for ourselves like, hey, I want 10K months, I want 20K months, I want this many clients, I want this type of practice, or whatever it is you're focusing on, right? But that's really coming from your ego and you trying to figure out, what is it that I need to create to be able to move forward in my business? And it doesn't mean that business strategy is not relevant, because business strategy is helpful. I do not like to teach business strategy. What I like to do is to tune into people's energy fields, into their desires, into what their heart really, really wants to offer as service, right? How they interact with God, the Akashic Records, the universe, Reiki energy, etc., and get naturally and gently nudged and guided towards what they are meant to provide in this world. And when we can do that, we're really able to build our businesses exponentially, because we tap into that energy, and we're going to continue to get guided into what we're meant to offer. And when we just offer the things that we think we should, or the things that we think we need to, or the things that even we get excited about in the moment, we're not going to have sustainability and longevity in our income, in our business, in our client base, okay? So it's really important for you to take some time to sit down with God and to sit down with the universe and identify where you are meant to fill a gap on this planet. Where are you meant to bring forward healing, guidance, support, empowerment, etc., to the world? Let me know in the comments. I'm just going to jump over to this other page so I can make sure I can see things as they pop up. Okay, cool. So let me know what your business is. What do you do? What is your role? Who is your ideal client? What do you do? Let me know in the comments so we can start workshopping this. And those of you who just jumped on, you can check this from the beginning too, because I just offered a few suggestions for how to get started in really allowing some of your business decisions and business moves to be more sustainable and have more longevity. And so that's what I say. I say, I really don't like to teach business strategy. What I do is like to tune into people's energy fields and be able to identify, all right, this is what's uniquely coming forward for you based on how your energy interacts with the universe. This is what you're meant to be doing. Right. And this is, and the thing is, it's so cool because we're able to tune into this so deeply and go right to the core right away. And when we do that, we not only have a quick solution, but we feel this immense relief. We're like, oh, I don't have to come up with it all, right? I don't have to make up something landmark that people are going to buy. You just get to allow God to guide you. And this is one of the things that I teach in my mastermind container is really teaching people how to let God and the universe drive the bus of your business. Drive your business in a way that everything that's coming forward is entirely sustainable, of the highest good of all involved, really, really serving a gap and a need in the world. Okay. So I do not see any comments today. Can you guys confirm whether or not comments are working, or are you guys just being quiet or nobody has anything that they have to ask? Okay, here we go. Cool. I just saw a couple. Holistic wellness practitioner, Carrie. Cool. So what do you do? You're a holistic wellness practitioner. So what kind of wellness? Is this holistic is obviously everything, right? But what kind of modalities do you use to help people? Hey, Cassidy. Comments are working. Okay, cool. I closed, well, yeah, there's usually a delay on Facebook, but I actually closed Cosmic TV and opened it again, and then the comments were there. So who knows? Nancy, comments on your TV is not working for me. It's weird because when I was on Facebook TV, they didn't work. But then when I switched over to just Cosmic on the direct page, they're working. So who knows? So what do you currently desire for your business? Where do you want it to look like right now? Like, what is that goal that you're hoping for? And it could be that your business is going really, really well, but you want to take it to the next level. Good. That's the other thing that I think a lot of people have trouble with, is they have trouble with realizing that they want more, even though they're doing really well, right? It's okay to want more. It's okay to desire greater income, more clients. That doesn't make you greedy. That doesn't make you selfish. It's funny because I was talking to somebody the other day and I was talking about how the income itself I don't set income goals. Instead, what I do is I set goals I don't set them really. I just get this energy that comes in from God and comes in from the Akashic Records that really guides me to what the collective is desiring and needing at this time, and whether I am the most ideal person to be able to provide that. And when I do that, I just kind of allow that energy to flow. And when that service is provided, I feel fully satisfied. And the money always comes. It always ends up coming, But hi, Sherry. Good to see you, honey. So Carrie's a holistic esthetician, Pilates instructor, and health coach. Awesome. Great combo, my friend. Powerhouse. I'm hoping for greater abundance and a larger scope on social media. Cool. Okay. So one of the things is, if you want to come on my Heal show, shoot me a DM, because I bring practitioners onto my Heal show every week. I think that we're booking into May and possibly June at this point. But it's every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I take people live, and what we're doing is we're adding resources and tools to people's toolbox so that they can continue to empower themselves to start healing on their own. So if that's something you want to do, that is something that can help you expand your reach. Also, when it comes to a larger scope on social media, collaborations are key. Who are you collaborating with? And this means that you could do a masterclass together. You could go live together. You could go live in their group and then they go live in your group. it could look a lot of different ways. So is that something that you've tried yet, Carrie? Because when we are able to share and collaborate with not only each other and the people that are in our communities, but in the energy that we share, the energy that's between us and the dynamic that exists when we get together, that's really powerful. And so that's a really beautiful way to expand your scope for sure. You definitely don't want to focus on too many platforms at once, because not only are you going to wear yourself out, burn yourself out, and make yourself crazy, but you're not going to be putting your all into the one platform, and people are going to feel that. And so it's better for you to master one platform. Like I mastered Facebook, and then I moved over to Instagram, and then I moved over to Twitter. And so I did it like a little bit at a time, because it's better for you to also have that momentum and that confidence, because you've been able to succeed in one area and say, okay, I've built a large audience. And actually, I have to be honest with you, building a large audience is not the issue. I know you want to expand your scope, but number one, I would be really interested to know what your human design is. I don't know if you've looked up human design, but if you go to Jovian Archive and you type in your date of birth, your birth location, and your birth time, you're going to be able to find your human design. And that's going to help you identify, how is it that I best network and engage with people? For me, it's with really intimate connections and relationships. And so it's about building those relationships. And that's really what you want to do, is be able to build those relationships. And so I don't want you to worry so much about expanding your audience, because I want you to appreciate and expand the potential of the audience you currently have, if that makes sense. And so what you're doing is you're cultivating really close relationships with people, and allowing that to continue to expand. Okay, so Sherry says, no license or fees needed to sell your services. No, you don't need to have any license or fees to sell on Facebook. The key is that, you definitely want to be, there's some areas where you want to be cautious with a little bit of your wording, because Facebook is a little bit more conservative than some of the other social media platforms. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But Facebook makes a lot of money off of ads, and they make money off of ads typically from more well-established entrepreneurs, typically. If you do ads as a starting out entrepreneur, you're probably going to find that they're not as effective. You really want to be able to see that the work that you're doing and the marketing that you're putting out there and the connections you're making with people are actually working. And then once you do that and you have that data, you can buy ads. And Carrie says, I'm a social media infant from a business standpoint. It's challenging to be the one-man show providing services and build a greater presence. Yes. But what I also want you to know too, so two things. One is change that statement from it's challenging to be the one-man show. Okay. You're never a one-man show. When we're working with the universe, we always have a team of spiritual beings that are willing to help us, that you can call in and kind of assign different tasks. So that's one thing you can do. But the other thing is I don't want you to name it as challenging, because I don't want your subconscious mind to think this is going to be a struggle. This actually can be really easy. And so I want you to change that statement to, it can actually be really easy for me to be the one person providing services and building a greater presence. It doesn't have to take up much time. In fact, the other day, I was sending messages to people on Instagram, and it was like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of my time, and I got a bunch of messages sent out to connect with people. And that's all you have to do. You can set a time frame each day, like 5 minutes, where you say, all right, I'm just going to reach out to some new people, that I actually connect with, not cold messaging. Cold messaging sucks, and you're probably going to get it handed to you if you do that. But at least I don't work that way. Some people do work that way, and they build their businesses beautifully by cold messaging, but it is not my vibe. So, but people that you follow or people that you really like or really drawn to, be like, hey, I really, really love this connection, and I would love to just have a conversation or just get to know each other through our content, or invite them to do a live with you or whatever. So, but I want you to remember that, because when we say something's hard, something's challenging, then we feel resistance come up in our body. We feel resistance come up in our heart space and our mind, and we can feel a little bit sluggish as we move forward. So I want you to realize that it actually gets to be really, really easy. It really does. And I think that for you, what keeps coming forward is to cultivate more relationship with who you already do know on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever social media platform you're on. Cultivate those relationships, deepen them, Get to know more of the details and nuances of this person or of their business or of how you two interact, and then go from there. You're going to have much more success that way. Greater abundance is naturally going to come. So the greater abundance is also about you. That's mostly about you being not only really, really clear on who you want to work with and what you're offering. And by the way, that doesn't mean that you're only going to attract those people. When we niche down and we think, okay, I got to get really specific about who I want to work with, that doesn't mean that we're closing ourselves off to other people. Other people are still going to come into our field, but we're just aligning our energy when we do that, because we're getting really clear on, this is what I want to provide, this is who I want to serve, and this is who I'm speaking to when I'm writing my content or going live and sharing my content. And when you do that, it's like you're just having a personal conversation with somebody on Facebook or on social media, and that person feels heard and they feel seen. Okay. And so with the abundance, it's about being able to know who you serve and what you do and being really fucking excited about it. Like, irresistible type offer. Like, I'm so excited about this. I would buy this. I would buy this because I love it so much and I see how much value exists in it. And if you're not at that point, then you need to spend some time either shifting your offer so that you can get to that point, or coming into greater alignment with it. How can I make this offer easier? How can I make this offer something that feels so exciting that literally I want to scream it from the rooftops, because I'm like, everyone needs this. It's amazing, right? That's how I feel about my Sacred Integration Mastermind that's coming up. It's just amazing. But some will view you as a competitor. Yeah, they will. Absolutely, they will. Some people are going to view you as a competitor. And I'll tell you, if they view you as a competitor, then they have their own work to do. They have their own work to do, because if you feel like you're competing with somebody online, then that means that you are not feeling really niched down and solid and confident about what you have to offer, and the fact that you are the only one who can uniquely offer it in the way that you do. Because we don't get rocked by things when we're super confident. We don't feel, like somebody's stepping on our toes or feeling inadequate, or like somebody else is stealing our business, when we're really, really confident that what we have to offer is phenomenal and that the absolute right people are going to come to that. There's going to be right people for everyone. There's some people out there that you probably judge at some point that you think, oh gosh, how do they get clients? Like, oh my gosh, there's somebody out there for everyone. Okay. All right, let me just scroll back here because I saw another comment. So Sherry, to provide a safe, fun atmosphere and be profitable. Brilliant. Good. Because you're embodying the vibration that you want to call in, which is beautiful. Hi, Sarah. I highly resonate with your message, and I do run my life, personal and business, from this reality. No goals, no strategy, being in the flow. Happy to be here now. Good. I honor you so deeply, because it can take some time to get there. It can take some practice and patience with ourselves and love and compassion, because we get caught up in the benchmark goals, the business goals, the where's the money, where's the clients, what are the numbers, right? When I was a traditional therapist, I was a traditional therapist for 20 years. And I used to count the number of clients I had. I used to count how many hours I was working a week. It was obsessive, right? But it was using a metric outside of myself to identify my success, rather than the metric within, which is, how fulfilled do I feel? How free do I feel? How intimately connected do I feel to myself, to God, to the universe, to my loved ones? That's my measurement of success. And so you really want to be able to identify, where are you? What's your gauge? What are you comparing? Because when you're doing it outside of yourself, you're not going to end up feeling satisfied. We want that data and that evidence, that feedback to come from within us. One of the things that I do is I encourage my clients to read over their testimonials that have come from people. And especially when they're in that moment where they're doubting themselves, or they feel frustrated, or they're not getting the sales they desire. Because we have a relationship with our business, and it's important for us to be in a vibration that we want to sustain our business. Our business requires a safe foundation, just like we do, in order to grow and expand at a much greater level. And so when we have that in place for our business, it's going to be able to grow more. So get yourself into a vibration that really serves your business. Okay. So when you read over those testimonials and you feel like a badass and look how many lives I've changed, you're not just doing that for you, but you're doing that for other people because you're holding that firm vibration, that space for people to step into and experience themselves. All right. What other questions do you guys have? I did a Qigong workshop today on the Akashic Records, and I'm just trying to drink as much water as possible to move the energy because we moved a lot of energy today. It felt really good though. Yes, when we do it outside of ourselves, it's looking for worthiness from the outside. It's the inside, right? Exactly. And so, but you listen, we want to satisfy our human too. And I get that. And so that's why I say, hey, read over your testimonials. That's an external resource that you can use. But what you're doing is you're using it as kind of like a bridge to get you to the vibration you desire. And then when you're in that vibration, sit down and brainstorm with your business. Sit down and snuggle with your business and spend time together. Sarah, keep creating and exploring the inner territory. This was so helpful to me. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah. And we were created from empty space, right? We were created from the void. The entire universe was. So offer yourself empty space. I can't stress enough how absolutely the number one skill that you need to cultivate is opening up space for yourself as a human being. You know, the number one tool is really to embody the God energy, to connect with God, to cultivate that relationship. That's the thing that that I teach you to do, to start doing in the Thrive with Confidence free masterclass that is available till March 17th. That is mind blowing. You guys are going to get so much good stuff from that. And that's one of the things that I teach in there is really securing this foundation of your business with God. But as a human, opening up space to do it. You need space to hear God's voice. You need space to hear from the universe and to receive. And that's what most humans don't do. Most humans are not opening up space because we're running, 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 going, going, going. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it seems counterintuitive to lean back and open up more space to be able to have more freedom and flow in our business. But it was interesting because I had this workshop today, for instance, this Qigong workshop. And yesterday, I opened up my entire day. I didn't have any clients or any appointments yesterday. I met with my team. We did some brainstorming for the retreat that we're holding in May. And I had free space. And so I realized, oh yeah, I want to send this follow-up email so that people remember about the workshop tomorrow. And oh yeah, I forgot to send that to my list. Like I want to send it to my bigger list and remind them that they can come to this because it's free and it's great. It's going to boost their energy. And would I have had space to do that and to remember to do all of those little things so that I am really nourishing and nurturing the people that are coming into my field in a way that really makes them feel seen and held and directed and guided in a way that is clear to them and not confusing. And when we're running from one thing to another, we don't have the space to do that. Sherry, is it important to not overshare your personal experience at first? That's a great question. Thank you for bringing that forward. I remember going so back and forth on this all the time when I started this online business. I've been in business for myself for 20 years, but online just the past few. And so I remember because I had been recovering from sepsis and chronic illness, and I wasn't feeling great a lot of the time when I first jumped into this. And so for me, it was, well, I don't want to go on and be a whiner, right? But I also want it to be something that people can feel validated by if they're going through something similar. So this is what I would suggest around this. I do want people to see you're human, and we want people to be able to align with us. So I want you to be authentic with what's coming forward for you, but not in a way where you're just kind of just kind of venting online. That's a very different vibe than if you're saying, hey, this is something that came forward for me. I kind of started to go this direction, but it didn't feel right, or this and that happened. And so I shifted it to this, and wow, was it better. So if you can take the experience and guide them through how to get there from the state that you're sharing, it's going to hold a much different vibration. And you're also coming from a space of authority because what you're saying is, I've figured this out, right? You're not saying, oh my gosh, I'm very capable of oversharing. Me too. So there with you, Sherry. But yeah, this is the other thing that's really important that we actually talked about in the Sacred Mystery course a little bit, Sherry, which is, you know, this concept that oversharing can actually be a disservice to you. Sometimes we can put everything out there because we're so eager for people to see us and almost prove ourselves to other people so that we can show that we're real and show that we're authentic. And when you're coming from that space, you're not going to get as good a feedback from your audience. You want it to really be from a place of, like for me, I'll have something happen or I won't feel well or something, and I'll move through it. And then I get to that moment of, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It blew me away. Other people need to hear this. Like, I want people to hear this. If it's coming from that space, then fine. That's coming from an excited space of service. And you're not trying to prove yourself. You're simply sharing a nugget of wisdom that you think is really valuable, or that the Akash or God or the universe has said is really, really valuable and needs to be shared with the collective. But there are some things that are meant to just be sacred between us and God, between us and the universe, between us and our most intimate loved ones. If your partner kept coming and telling you secrets and you shared it all out, how would that do for that relationship? Right? Unless it was open and you guys were both in agreement. So I think it's really important to identify, what does the universe desire? Is this for me right now to settle into my vibe, to allow it to really integrate so that I'm fully embodying this before I share it out? Or is this something that I need to share later, right? So it's really asking. And once you cultivate that relationship and it's nice and close with you and God, you and the universe, then that's going to be a very easy mutual exchange for you to feel into. Nancy, I'm just getting myself out there and it's scary. My ego is wanting to keep me limited. We are limitless beings. We are limitless beings. Exactly. It feels scary, but what are you scared of? What's the worst thing that can happen? What are your biggest fears there? Oh my gosh, Carrie. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. You can actually sign up if you want. We're going to be sending out the replay in a couple hours. The replay is available till Sunday night, so you could still watch it for the weekend if you wanted. I love hearing your stories, though. And yes, this question comes from Sacred Mystery. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that's the thing. So storytelling's different than kind of sharing your shit, right? Storytelling's good because storytelling, this is how I like to say it. It's a very soft, gentle way of empowering and guiding and sharing with people, because you're not telling them what to do. You're not bossing them around. You're sharing your story and allowing them to glean whatever wisdom or nuggets they want to out of the story that you're sharing. Storytelling is also a form of entertainment. And the fact is, we are online. And so there has to be at least a little piece of entertainment. I don't really do that intentionally, but that's because I have such a spunky personality. So I'm always like, humor's huge for me. So I'm always laughing. I'm always telling funny stories, things like that. So that comes naturally. But if it doesn't come naturally to you, then that is something that you want to kind of fold into your storytelling, because people do want to enjoy watching you. Like, it's not just like, oh, hi, okay, I'm going to like tell you the 3 ways to build self-love and then turn it off. You know, you don't want it to be boring. So bringing story in helps. And people identify with examples. You know, people identify with examples for sure. Nancy, let me know any other questions on that, or if you want to answer my question around what is your biggest fear around that? Like, what are you afraid of happening? I love you, Robin. Oh, you do. Yeah, anybody who's been in a program with me, Robin's been lucky enough to be certified in the Akashic Records with me, knows the ins and outs of my personality. And the fact that I'm myself no matter where I am, like, this is just me. I am who I am. Sarah, I am lately very active on social media. It's amazing how much the path online gets revealed when you align to the spirit of your business. Exactly. I moved from making effort to create content online to an effortless content creating, thanks to the alignment. Exactly. I tell people, I love it when people say, especially spiritual entrepreneurs, when they're like, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to say to go live. And I'm like, dude, are you doing your inner work? Are you connecting with God on the daily? Are you journaling? Are you excavating the chronic patterns when they show up, because that's your content. Are you working with clients at all? Well, one of the things I do is I have a pad of paper next. Well, you don't do this anymore, but I did this at the beginning. I'd have a pad of paper next to me. One column would be, whatever the presenting issue was that the client was bringing forward. Then we would have the aha moment, and then we would have like the takeaway, what they were implementing. And that was brilliant, because what it did was it really allowed me to see, what am I actually providing people? Because as spiritual or intuitive guides or entrepreneurs or coaches, it can be really freaking hard to figure out what the hell we do. Like, what are the results? What are the tangible results that I'm actually offering people, right? Like, what are they getting from working with me? So for me, in my Akashic Immersion program, in my Rise Akashic Immersion program, I know with 100% certainty that people leave that with confidence, clarity, and momentum. So those are the big things they get. Of course, they get intuitive expansion. Of course, they get certified in the Akashic Records. Of course, they have all these layers of healing that they have access to for themselves and their loved ones. But it's being really, really clear about what results are being delivered to your clients. And if you don't know that, keeping that log can be really helpful. And it also offers you the opportunity to write about content, right? Or to write content from that. Because what you're saying is, okay, when somebody comes to me with anxiety, this is how we went about it. This is the aha moment that came through. And this is the implementation, which leads to what results. So you're starting to map this out for yourself to be really, really clear. And once you're really clear, everybody else is going to be clear. I'm interested in attending your Akashic Record. Is that the Qigong one, Sarah? You can send me a DM too. We can chat about what you're looking for, and I can send you links for whatever you need. Nancy, fear of creating my masterclass from my mess to message story. I'm doing the inner work big time. Yeah, you do. You're really good about that inner work. So I want you to shift the fear of creating the masterclass to making it fun. Like, I just did this Thrive with Confidence free masterclass, right? It took me a long time. It took me 3 to 4 weeks to create that masterclass. And when I first thought about doing it, I was like, ugh, oh my gosh, this is an undertaking, right? It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And even for me, it was like, not only was it fun, but it was good for me because it assisted me with stepping further into my authority and my clarity and my confidence about what I'm offering, about what I do, about who I help, about what is it. Like, it really put me in a position to put myself in the shoes of the person who's receiving it, to truly and deeply understand those people that I'm connecting to and drawing into my field, right? So I want you to look at the masterclass creation as an exercise for yourself, and then you're sharing it with other people. You're just going to invite people to it. Because when you create it as an exercise for yourself, you're like, okay, you're your own best client. What do I need right now? Or when I was at this stage that I'm teaching these people, what did I need? What would I have loved to come through my door that would have been an irresistible offer that I would have been like, yep, there's my money, take it, I'm good. This is exactly what I've been waiting for, okay? That's the energy you want to come from, okay? Allow it to be fun. Make a PowerPoint if you want to make a PowerPoint, or go on Canva and do it. That's what I did, but you don't have to. You can also just go and chat. Feel into it. I'm in a leadership program and meditations that are bringing me into my real self like never before. Good. Letting go of old fears is what I'm working on now. Thank you for this time you're giving us. You're so welcome. See, fun. Exactly. Yeah, and leadership program, that sounds wonderful. I love it. And the fact is, you already have your spiritual work that you're doing, because I really encourage both. If you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you need business guidance, but you 100% need spiritual guidance as well. And it's not just with your guides. Having a spiritual coach or a spiritual mentor is really, really important, because you're going to continue to expand, and your human is going to need to continue to adjust as you expand and as you grow, both personally and professionally. And so having somebody to hold space for that, in addition to guiding you into the deeper levels of the cosmos, is brilliant. Because what is that? that's a platform and a foundation for your business to expand infinitely. And we want infinite expansion, and we want sustainable expansion, expansion that we can hold and that will continue to grow over time without breaking us. That's why I call it Thrive with Confidence for my masterclass, because vitality is vital to me. It's critical to be sure that I was burnt out, I was sick, I was tired, I was resentful, and none of those things serve anyone, right? And I was filling from my cup instead of my overflow. So really being able to learn how to cultivate this is going to give you that longevity that you're looking for. Okay. So, any other questions, guys, before we close up today? Thanks so much for being here and bringing these forward. These are great. And anybody you know that could benefit from this, feel free to tag them or share the link. And I think we already shared the link for the... Oh, actually, Cassidy, can you share the link for the Thrive with Confidence Masterclass if you didn't already? Because that's free, and you guys are gonna get so much that you can implement in your business right away from that masterclass. So I really encourage you to grab that. If you like this, you're gonna like that even more because it goes into a lot of detail, and you can jump around as well if you want to. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, take pieces and chunks of it, but you'll definitely get things that you can apply. Skipping ahead, how do you learn to invoice? An app for that? Yeah, so invoicing, I actually really like SquareUp. SquareUp.com. You would go there and create an account. You connect it to your bank account. You don't need to get a swiper if you're not doing in-person sessions where you swipe credit cards. You can also just type in numbers instead of people swiping, but then they charge you more so per transaction. But SquareUp I love because their invoicing app is super, super easy to use. And it's also really helpful for tracking your income in your business. So Stripe is one that people use online. I don't like Stripe as much. I like SquareUp a lot better. So, but you can play with that and see what you like for sure. People use PayPal. I discourage PayPal. I do still use it from time to time, but I prefer to use Stripe and SquareUp because PayPal is less protected for businesses. So, pretty much with PayPal, people can ask for a refund at any time, and you can end up just really, you're never going to win when it comes to PayPal. So I don't encourage you to use that. I really do think that instead of PayPal and Venmo, I would go with SquareUp. Sarah, thank you so much for the pleasant energy. I love connecting to spiritual entrepreneurs and beautiful souls like yours. You're so welcome, Sarah. And shoot me a message for whatever you need with the Akash, and I can get you any links that you need to check out. So thank you so much again, guys, for being here with me today. I love you. I don't think I'm going to be here next Friday, actually. So I will see you the week after that. I'm usually here live every Friday at 2:15 Eastern, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be driving to visit some family. So I will miss you, but definitely make sure to check out. I'm going to have an event in my Facebook group, the Expansion Portal, on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And that's a free Facebook group that you can jump into, and we can hang out there. And then you can see me there next week if you want to ask more questions or you want to just get some of the good energy. So I love you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.